All right, here we go. TK Kirkland, welcome back.
Vlad, the great Vlad. Thank you as always, Vlad. Always pay homage to a man that always looks out for a brother. I really appreciate you.
Man, listen, always a pleasure and an honor. And what's actually interesting about this interview is that this is the first face-to-face interview we've ever done.
Ever, in all these years.
All these years. Now, we've been face-to-face before.
Yes.
Right? It's
yes.
like we've never actually seen each other in person. I've
yes.
been to your comedy shows and everything else like that.
Yes.
But whenever we actually do an interview, it's always been remote before.
Yes.
This time, we're actually here in LA.
Yes, and I believe, you know, the pandemic has did some bad things to people, but there's always been some good things coming out of it. And by us actually doing this in person, I truly feel that my blessings is just gonna even get better after this.
There we go.
Yes, sir.
Well, look, we can't go on with the rest of this interview unless we talk about the elephant in the room.
Yes.
And that is the Mike Tyson interview.
Okay.
That you did.
Yes, yes.
Now, in the interview, Mike Tyson talked about how he had these millions of dollars.
Yes.
And yet he hated himself. And you said, come on, Mike, you didn't really hate yourself.
Right.
And what did Mike say?
And Mike said, who the fuck are you to tell me I ain't shit? And I'm looking at him because I didn't know where he was going with that energy. And hearing different stories from around the world, and people like, oh, Mike was about to jump in TK's ass and this and that. And I want people to know that me and Mike Tyson have been friends for over 40 years. We're good friends. And in that interview, I saw that my energy and the positive side that I have of myself to uplift other people, Mike didn't give a fuck. So my thing to myself was allow him to go down that path and not try to encourage him that he's a better man. Just let it go.
Yeah, I mean, because you were just trying to be positive.
Yes.
And he's like, who the fuck are you to tell me how I feel?
Yes.
And he's calling you the N-word.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
Like in
it
an
was
angry
crazy.
type of way.
Yeah, and I could see if people don't know him, they could see how, whoa, this is about to jump off.
Right.
But Mike would never cross that line with me. At least I don't think so, but I'm 99% sure.
Well, what's interesting is that we actually did an interview with Tyson recently. It's not out yet. Zab Judah did the primary interview.
Yes.
But then at the end of the interview, I said, hey, do you mind if I jump in and ask a couple questions?
Yes.
And they're like, sure, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Before the interview, like Mike knew who I was.
Yes.
And he starts breaking down like all these interviews I did with street guys.
Yes.
Like, you know, he knows Keefe D. You know, he knows Brian Glaze Gibbs.
Yes.
You know, from Brooklyn and everything else like that. So I'm like, okay, well, here's you know, he knows Haitian Jack.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, here's an interesting kind of form of questioning that I could talk to him about. So I'm like, Mike, it seems like you're cool with a lot of street guys. And then Mike was like, what do you mean by that? And then it was like this moment.
Right.
I'm like, well, it just seems like y'all are cool. He's like, what are you trying to say?
So you never know.
You never know. And I'm sitting there, right? Now I got my security with me,
right?
And he's, you know, I have armed security and everything else like that. But we're doing the interview at his gym, which is where you did the interview.
Yes.
But with us, we're in the actual boxing ring.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
We're in the middle of the ring doing the interview there.
Yes.
My security's outside the ring.
Exactly.
So, you know, not to say that he would do anything at all, but I'm thinking like, my security doesn't have enough time to get to me if Mike just springs off at me right now.
Absolutely.
And Mike is like getting like kind of, I wouldn't say angry, but very kind of, you know, that moment where you're just not quite sure where you're going with Mike.
Yes.
So I'm like,
yes.
Well, it just seems like you guys have a lot of mutual respect for one another. And then at that point he was like, well, yeah, I mean, I grew up with guys like this and they took care of me. So now that I got money, I try to take care of them. And we come, you know, and it suddenly just went away completely, kind of in the same way that at one point it just went away completely with the two of you.
Yes, because you think he's getting ready to snap. And when you think that, obviously the rest of the world thinks that as well. And you just don't be that person to make him snap. Don't be the person that makes him snap, because like you said, it's only 2-3 seconds and you never know what could happen.
Right. I remember he did that 60 Minutes interview a while back, or maybe it was Real Sports.
Yes.
Where like the interviewer said, some of your antics are clown-like. And he's like, yeah, would you call me a clown in my face? And the guy's like, no, I would not.
Yes, yeah. Some people, I could see, like that one interview, the guy, he was in Vegas, and I guess he was hanging with the mayor. And one of the interviews brought up the rape situation, which was inappropriate. And Mike's like, you just, I could see it like it was yesterday. He's a piece of shit. Like, why would you want to bring that up now when I have my life together, I'm doing this and that? And that's just a shame with most reporters of the world. They think your past should harm you. In some situations it does, but you got to learn how to give people another shot and another opportunity. Just like with the election with Biden, right? A lot of people didn't want to vote for Biden based on what he said in the 70s. And I truly feel he felt that way in the 70s. But me being where I've come from and grown to become a better man, I think with the years of experience and what he's gone through in life and the trials and tribulations and the tragedies have made him a different person, my own opinion.
I agree. That's why I voted for him.
Yes.
One of the things that you mentioned in the Tyson interview is that he would pick you up in the Lambo with Haitian Jack?
Yes.
Okay.
Haitian Jack was a good friend of mine, Mike Tyson, and Mike picked me up in the Lambo. We all went to Versace's party down in South Beach. So Haitian Jack was there, Madonna, and just a flew of amazing guests. And the thing that I always loved about me, hanging from the R. Kelly's down, I never was a groupie. I was my own man. So when we walked into certain places, I would go off and do my own thing because that's the way that I wanted to live and that's what I want to do. But we'll party together, we'll call each other on the phone, and boom, the rest is history.
Now, I've spoken to Haitian Jack a few times. He got deported.
Yes.
And he lives in Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic.
Yep. Him and Akon, I think, had a club together or something like that. Interesting guy.
Interesting guy.
Yes. Apparently, and me and Mike actually talked about this in our interview, I think, that when Pac was doing Above the Rim, he started hanging out with Haitian Jack.
Yes.
And we did talk about this now that I think about it. And Mike actually warned him about hanging out with these type of guys.
Yes.
And he basically said, like, Pac, you're in over your head. These guys are serious.
Yes.
Pac didn't listen.
Right. And Haitian Jack was an interesting dude because he has such an amazing look. You wouldn't think he was who he was. And how I met Haitian Jack for the first time, I was in Queens at a club called Manhattan Proper, comedy show. I'm on stage and performing. This is in the early 90s. All the hustlers are out and a confrontation starts. Haitian Jack has a barbershop right next door. So me and Haitian, he knew of me. So Haitian Jack sent some people into the club to talk to the people that looked like they was gonna start trouble with me. And when the show was over, he was like, yo, TK, I know who you are, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't gonna let that shit go down. And me and him have been friends ever since.
Yeah, interesting guy.
But he's not the kind of person you want to cross.
Doesn't seem like.
Yeah, and I knew another dude from Harlem named Frankie B. Another street dude, one of my homies. So a puppy throws a party in New York City. And we all minked out, alligator shoes or whatever. So me and Frankie B comes, but me and Haitian Jack are friends. But all street dudes know each other. They know their reputation and everything. So I introduced both of them. And they only shook hands because of me. But it was the longest delay you had ever seen in your life. Like, I said, what? Like in my mind, like, what the fuck have I done? Because I know they know of each other, And like, and no disrespect, Haitian, you my man. Haitian was so serious that after a concert once, they pulled off a robbery in a garage with people in it. Blocked the motherfucker off. Nobody was leaving and handled their business. Like, Haitian was really that guy. That's my man. And I just wanted to share that story so let people know. And I'm quite sure he's a different guy now. Because, matter of fact, some of my people from Chicago called him on the phone to talk to me. And he was something else. I just like to keep it 100. He was something else.
I got his number.
Yeah.
I can connect you.
Yeah. I'll give him a call, because that's my man.
Yeah, because I remember after we did the interview with Ayanna Jackson.
Yes.
The Tupac rape accuser.
Yes.
And he knew the interview, the interview was coming out. Me and him were already talking at that point about potentially doing an interview with him as well. And I remember after the clip came out where she basically accused him of sexually assaulting her.
Yes.
After Pac left the room.
Right.
He left a voicemail and he was tight. Not at me, but just he's like, what? He's like, I would never touch you. Like, you saying I raped you.
Right,
like,
right.
He was angry. Like, he was really just furious at that shit. Not at me, because we've spoken since and we've been fine. But he was just mad at the accusation.
It's just bad that that even went down for the both of them. But isn't that how, and I don't know if it's true, how Haitian got exposed saying that he was working for the feds due to the fact that him and Pac had the same case, but they let Haitian go.
Got separated.
They got separated, but they let Haitian go, and Tupac wound up getting 6 years.
Right, but I think it had to do with the gun charge. I think because Pac, his case included the gun charge, and it was established that Haitian had nothing to do with the gun.
Okay.
I think it was something like that. I'm not going to sit there.
Okay,
and
yeah,
say,
I don't really know. But I always tell people, you really want to know who robbed Tupac the night he got shot. Just listen to Machiavelli, track number 13, and he says the whole story.
Yeah, I mean, he called out Haitian Jack. He called out Jimmy Henchman.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
And my point is, why call them out but start the war with Puffy and Biggie? It could have been prevented, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Apparently, when me and Mike Tyson were talking before the interview, Mike Tyson knew Zip very well.
Yes.
He was
my
spoke
friend.
very highly about him.
Yes.
He said, this is the funniest dude.
Funny.
Yeah, man. So a lot of what you guys are doing was kind of wrapped up and intermingled. And
when they say 6 degrees of separation, it's very true.
Well, what's interesting is since our last interview, I did a sit down with the actor Leon.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
You remember Leon was in Above the Rim.
Yes.
With Tupac.
Yes.
And he said a few interesting things. He said, on set, Tupac was perfect, on time, knew his lines, very professional. But as soon as they said cut, he said it was just pure chaos.
Wow.
We had to shut down production a couple times because he got into incidents either with the police or whatever, or wanting to get involved in somebody, maybe selling T-shirts of his, whatever. There was always things going on, unfortunately. But when he worked with me, when we did our scenes, he was 100, and I thought he shined.
And then the shooting in Atlanta happened.
Yes.
Where and they're supposed to shoot that day with Tupac, and then it's like, oh, Tupac just shot 2 white cops in Atlanta. I guess we're not shooting today.
Right.
And it was just complete chaos. Offset. They had to rearrange the shooting schedule. But the interesting thing about the interview, I think, was when the night that Tupac got killed, he was at the Tyson fight.
Yes.
Leon actually sat behind him, coincidentally. They both had good seats. And I said, how was Pac like? Obviously, he didn't know what was about to happen. He said that Tupac was beyond turned up. Screaming at the ref, calling the other fighter a bum, jumping up and down, going crazy. And what he said was he felt like Pac took that testosterone energy out into the lobby, and when he saw Orlando Anderson, he just directed it right towards him.
Because you could tell he was hyped.
Be honest with you, man, he was beyond rambunctious. I mean, he was yelling at the referee to the point where the referee could hear him. He was calling the other guy a bum. It was like he was going off. I mean, he had a lot of energy that night. And so I guess whatever happened spilled out into the lobby. And then from there, you know, I remember we were all out and we got the news. You know, it was rough.
He was hyped.
And we're men.
Yes.
Right? When we watch a boxing match, especially in person, we kind of
Yes.
you get worked up.
Right.
You start to put yourself in the mode of the boxer who's winning and feel like you could beat anyone and stuff like that. And it just makes you think, like, if Pac had just been chilling in his room and relaxed and he walked into that same situation, nothing may have happened.
He was just a young man trying to find himself, in my opinion. He was 20-something years old, without an OG or somebody really taking him by his arm and giving him a direction on how to survive in this rap game. And this is what happens to most young rappers without guidance, you know, because he was just everywhere and trying to just, he didn't know, like in the movie it says, you never knew who Tupac was going to be. He could be political, he could be a gangster, he could be a gentleman. And I just think that with the youth today, starting back then, that they all need an OG or someone, a mentor, to help explain to them the value of life, how to save your money, how to build yourself up, if not your community, and become better instead of hustling backwards.
Right, because one of the things in the interview with Tyson, which isn't out yet, was Tyson, and I don't think he's ever said this before, because Tyson was pushing Tupac to come to his fight because Tupac was working on a song for Mike that I think he was going to walk out with or whatever, but there was like something music-wise that they were working together, so Mike was like, yo, you need to come down, you need to come down, you need to come down. And what Mike said after the interview was that he still feels guilty to this day.
Wow.
For Tupac dying, because he was like, I'm the one that was pushing him to come to the fight, and he ended up dying after the fight. And you could tell it really hurt him.
Yeah, he loved, I know for a fact he really loved
yeah.
Tupac.
I mean, Pac would visit him in prison.
Yes.
When Tyson had the rape case, Pac would go visit him, and he just said, man, this was just a special dude, and I'm glad I got to share some of my life with him. But you could tell, like, to someone say that, like, 25 years later, they still feel bad over a situation they directly were not involved in.
Right. Yeah, it can hurt. Like, you know, it can definitely hurt.
Well, what's actually interesting is that you fast forward to 2020 and you look at the King Von situation. And when you found out that King Von got killed, you saw the fight and then you saw someone walk up and shoot him.
Yes.
And you like, damn, like, how did this happen? Von is sort of viewed as a victim in this situation, you know, because there was some sort of altercation with Quando Rondo and you're not quite sure what happened next, and you just see the shooting, and Quando's man was the one that killed him. He's now charged for it.
Yes.
You know, it's a closed case, whatever else. But then a second tape came out the next day. Did you see that?
No.
You see Von run up to Quando and just start to punch him.
Okay, I did see that video.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
And a lot of people started equating that to the Tupac situation.
Here's how I feel about these young kids today. One, they should really look up to Drake. People might think this is a game, but I really mean what I'm saying. Everybody wants to party, strip clubs, diamonds in their teeth, flash their money on Instagram, and think that's the life. But Drake, to me, is the example of success. And what I mean by that is you work hard, you get your money, you take care of your crew, you get your home, you take care of your parents, you stay in the studio, you throw nice little parties with just a group of people. When you do go out, you avoid confrontation and fights with people.
Yeah.
People look at Drake as a cornball, but he's winning. And he's winning because he's dedicated to his craft. He has hit after hit after hit. And this is what these young men have to do. Like, we have so many other examples of rappers being murdered, right? That no rapper today should get shot on the freeway, should be shot in a club, because you have to sense danger. You have to know when danger's coming. Like, we're so smart. We know when we was young coming up, 1:30, what? We leave the club because that's when everybody normally starts fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Or you pull up to a parking lot, you see that it was gonna be kind of crazy. You stay for a few minutes and then you get out of there.
Yeah.
You don't stay there to be a part of the problem that you know is gonna occur. Because once you got home the next day, right? What'd you say? A fight, shooting, I knew that shit was gonna happen.
Oh, yeah, man. I was at multiple club events, or I would leave early or not show up and find out someone got shot.
That's what
later
these
on.
kids have to do.
Hella
And
times.
if you want to fight, fight. This gun thing got to stop. There's no, I mean, I know you can sit here and discuss it, but when I see these young men dying over what? Like, you have to explain to me why you want to pull out a gun, not take the ass kicking, and kill someone. Someone dies, you go to prison for life. You're a young kid. You're young. And I don't know if you've ever been to prison before. See, I was in, believe it or not, when Scare Straight first came out, I was the first person they had at Scare Straight back in the early 70s at Rikers Island.
Wait, you're on video in Scare Straight?
I don't know if they had video then.
Okay, but the
our
actual program.
Yeah, the actual program. They actually took us on a bus. Took us there. I saw men bigger than me, bigger than you, with bandanas and booty shorts on. They were women that the men were kicking it with. And these are young little boys. These are young little boys in their 20s. They have no idea what they're in store for once you get behind that wall of savages.
Yeah.
Have no idea.
No, I feel you. Because one of the things that we brought back as a flashback, because a lot of people kept tagging me along the line of the King Von thing, was this interview I did with Willie D.
Yes.
And Willie said, we all know a guy that before the, at the start of the night said, all right, we're going to go to the club, and if anyone disrespects us, I'm going to whoop their ass.
I never hung with nobody like that.
But we all know a guy
Yes,
like
we do.
this. Someone spills a drink, talks to a girl, we're going to whoop their ass.
Yes.
But very rarely does that guy say, now, after I whoop his ass, there's a reasonable chance he might kill me. So tell my mother I got 20,000 in my closet.
Right.
Give my car to my sister, and tell my dad not to put too much makeup on in my coffin.
Yes,
because
yes.
I don't like all that.
Yes.
If people who go to the club, before they went to the club and they had a chip on their shoulder, because there are people that go out with their boys and they're tough. They go out and in their minds, they're going to kick some ass. Anybody get out of line, we're going to whoop some ass. I don't know why they thinking about whooping people and fighting and stuff instead of like trying to snatch up a girl. But there are dudes that go out there with that mentality like, if somebody get out of line, we're going to click on them, we're going to whoop them. But they don't think about what the other person might do. They only think about what they're gonna do. If they thought about what the other person would possibly do to them, before they went out, they'd say something along these lines. All right, look here, Lil Ray. We finna go out to the club, man. We're gonna be our usual selves. We're gonna do a little drinking or whatever. Anybody get out of line, we're gonna ride on there, we're gonna whoop them up. We're gonna handle our business. And tonight I'm gonna get killed though. This time I'm gonna get killed. So what I want you to do is I want you to have my Nike collection. You can have all my Jordans. Let your sister have the car because she got to go to school. I don't want her catching the bus. Tell mom I got some money in the attic, and tell everybody I love them, man. And I'm gonna make one stop before I go out there because I gotta go over here to my girl house and I'm gonna kiss my baby and kiss my woman and let them know I love them, and then I'm gonna go over here and get killed. Oh, and I'll bury this the suit I want you to bury me in. Man, to tell them don't be putting too much makeup on me and shit, man, because I don't like all that, man. Tell that mortuary, man, you let them know, man. Like you would really plan it all the way out. But they don't plan on what other people could possibly do to them. They only think about what they're gonna do to somebody else.
And you look at the King Von situation, and he's just looking like, I'm gonna go beat this guy up. Me and him had some sort of issues.
He thought it was gonna be a normal fight.
Beefing online. Yeah, he gonna fight, I'm gonna fight.
Right.
He's not thinking about this guy's brother with a pistol right over there that doesn't want to fight.
Yes.
He's protecting the breadwinner.
Yes.
Quando Rondo.
Yep.
He doesn't know what King Von has.
Right.
He doesn't know who he's with or whatever else. What started out as a regular fist fight ended in 2 or 3 people getting killed and 2 other people getting shot.
This is what me and you have talked about over the years. People go to a fist fight or go to a fist fight and not have a gun. Or you could hit a person the wrong way.
Kill him.
Kill him.
Yeah. I remember a guy I know in Atlanta who was actually my security. He was my cameraman / security. He used to carry a pistol whenever we would move around Atlanta. He told me something that I never forgot. He said, and he was like, I don't know, his early 30s. I was a little older than him at the time. He said, my goal in life is to never get into another physical altercation for the rest of my life.
Yes.
And when I said that, I said, bingo. That's my goal as well. I'm taking your goal as my own.
And I've been in situations like that too, Vlad. I've been jumped.
Yeah.
And want to retaliate.
Yeah.
But people not knowing I'm on probation. Not knowing I have judges in different states waiting for me to do something wrong.
Right.
To come back to give me time. So I had to walk away from situations because and being grown is a serious responsibility. Ego is a serious responsibility. Pride is very serious. And you have to learn to, when you're grown, you just gotta take it on the chin and keep it moving.
Yeah, I remember Steve Stout, there was an interview I saw where, remember like Puffy beat him with a champagne bottle?
Yes.
And he was like sitting there going like, and he had to hear, oh, no, Puffy beat you up with a champagne bottle. And he had to sit there and think like, am I gonna be that guy that goes and gets a pistol and retaliates, or go and get a crew together and retaliate because my pride is hurt? Or do I look at the situation as what it is that I was a victim?
Yes.
I didn't know this was going to happen. He and Puffy knew each other.
Right.
And instead of handling it like that, he handled it legally.
Yes.
I heard Puffy cut him a big check.
Right.
Then a couple months later, they're cool again.
Yes.
Because right after the King Von situation, Mo 3 gets killed in Dallas. And what was so eerie is as I'm going, because I interviewed him like a few years ago.
Yes.
And he's telling me about, he knows he has money on his head. He's not tripping. I'm like, do you carry security with you everywhere? Well, occasionally I do, certain clubs, but in general, and he said, it's not like anyone's trying to chase me down or nothing.
Wow.
We'll play that clip right now.
Do you feel like a target walking around with that much jewelry?
God on my side, and God gonna be on their side. So God is on their side, and God is on my side. So I'm all right.
Okay.
I'm wearing my I pay for this motherfucking necklace. I'm wearing this bitch.
Okay. Do you have actual security with you when you walk around?
No, I just got good friends, man. We are good friends, and I got my homeboys with me. Security sometimes is with me with the shows and stuff. When the promoter booked me, they got their own security. That accommodate me and shit. Shout out to them. But other than that, like, I ain't worried about none of that, Vlad. So I ain't got no security. I'm not out here. Nobody chasing me down, trying to do nothing to me. So I ain't worried about none of that.
Because that's exactly what happened. Someone waited outside of a girl's house and chased him down and murdered him.
Yes.
Like in broad daylight.
And got out the car and ran. I didn't understand that.
I guess he crashed the car. He was trying to get away.
Right.
You think you could outrun someone you could do a getaway, whatever, but you don't know what the fuck happens until you're actually in that situation.
Right.
I'm
That's
sure
true.
it's pretty terrifying.
Yes.
And I think, and I don't know the situation, but if I were to surmise based on the type of guy that he is, the type of persona he has, like if I was in that situation and someone was chasing me, the first thing I would do is grab my phone and call 911.
That's what I said.
Right?
I agree.
And say, I'm being chased by someone who seems to be armed. But if you're a rapper, you think, well, if I do that, they're going to release that audio. And there's going to be an audio of a terrified version of me running away from someone, and maybe it's not even that serious. Maybe it's just a fan and I'm overreacting. I don't want to ruin my career
Right.
over this.
It's so many things.
You know.
Yeah.
So you don't do it, and the worst possible thing happens. It
when I
fucks
heard
me
that,
up.
because I was just in Texas doing some shows, and I just want the brothers to understand that can they just truly stop killing each other for it doesn't make sense, Vlad.
Yeah. I mean, Benny the Butcher just got shot
I saw that
in Houston,
and
once again in
Boosie.
Texas, and then Boosie gets shot.
This is
Boosie gets shot, yo, and I remember we did an interview a couple days before, right? Like Mo3 was still alive.
yes,
King Von had just gotten killed.
yes.
And Boosie, you know, we'll play the clip right now. Boosie said, "Man, I gotta slow down. I don't need to be going out as much, and you know, my birthday coming up. I need to just chill and not
Yes.
just be out there like that."
I'm finna slow down going out, man, because I've been showing out, bro. I'm finna slow down going out, bro. After that shit with Von, I be right at that club now. I be right at that club on Sundays, bro. I'm finna slow down going out, bro. I ain't had no problem. Like, niggas show me love in Atlanta, bro. Like, you know, I ain't niggas know I'm here to get money. I ain't here to harm nobody. You know, I ain't lying. I'm here. They welcome me with open arms here, but you know, it's a lot of shit go down at clubs out here and shit, stampedes and shit like that. But I don't know. I just need to slow down going out. I've been going out. I've been doing my thing. This is my birthday month, so I've been lit.
And here on his birthday, he got shot.
Yes.
He was out there in Dallas for Mo3's funeral.
Yes.
Or wake or whatever. He goes to the neighborhood to basically a swap meet in Oak Cliff.
Oh, that's where it was.
Yeah, Big T's.
But how are these people finding them?
Well,
Because here's my thing. You get Benny the Butcher at Walmart.
yeah.
You get Boosie. But they're not posting where they are. So is this random people thinking that they should just...
They're not posting where they are, but people around them may be. You know,
Okay.
everyone's on fucking live these days.
Okay.
You know, that's how FBG Duck got killed, from what I understand.
Yes, this don't
He
make
was
no
out
sense.
and people are like, oh shit. And they're posting live and you don't know who's watching their lives.
Okay. See, because I'm still learning this social media thing.
Yeah.
And what I don't get, we come from an era where we never used to tell where we were going.
Oh yeah, I don't say shit.
Never.
If I ever announce an interview, it's because it's already filmed and done.
Yes, but
I'm not gonna let anyone try to sabotage what the fuck
this
I'm
is
trying to do.
crazy.
I never go live. It's just too much of a security issue.
Now here go another one. The kids who commit robberies and go live to show what they stole
Right.
and what they robbed and the money there. So the feds is watching and they come knock on your door.
Right. Idiotic. But yeah, but Boosie was out there. See, you gotta know Boosie a little bit. Where if Boosie goes to another city, because he lives in Atlanta, right? If he goes to another city, he is hustling from the moment he gets off the plane to
Yes.
the moment he gets back on the plane.
Yes.
He's doing verses, he's doing clubs, he's doing shows, he's doing walkthroughs, he's doing business deals. He is hustling. Boosie got 10 kids,
Yes.
10
yeah,
cars.
he's not playing.
You know,
I saw Boosie in San Francisco. He was on a play.
Mm.
And I think he didn't take the plane. I think he took a Sprinter.
Yeah.
And he had all his kids with him.
Yeah.
He sure did.
He hustles. So my guess is that he was out there just moving around, selling verses, maybe doing a music video, whatever. And oh shit, you know, people already know Boosie's in town. They saw him
Yes.
at the wake, you know, and now he's in an area that was beefing with both three.
So from your opinion, Vlad, what do you think it is, Vlad? Why do you think that so many rappers are just getting smoked and shot for, what's your side of this? What do you think?
I think that with 2020, we are living in a very triggered triggered era.
Okay.
Right now, people are not doing very well. They're financially very strapped. They're stressed out from being in the house all the time.
But they're not robbing them, getting money now. They're just shooting them.
Well, it's the overall frustration and the overall anger.
Jealousy?
That too.
Okay.
Boosie's shining. Boosie,
Yes.
you know, neck full of jewelry.
Okay. But I can
you
see
know-
you. Let's take this. Let's break it down.
Yeah.
I can see you jewelry. You got money on you. Now I see you, and I'm coming to get you, and we can have a fight, and I shoot you. But these guys are just getting shot, but nobody's taking nothing from them.
I think they were trying to take King Von's chain, number one.
Oh, okay.
The Benny the Butcher shooting was a robbery attempt.
Okay. See,
So-
I didn't
so,
know.
Yeah, so a lot of
Okay.
these situations, now I don't know what the Boosie situation is. I don't know, maybe that was just an anger, whatever
Okay,
thing. Like,
okay.
hey, you're aligning yourself with this guy,
Okay.
you're coming to our neighborhood, kind of, you know, sort of throwing it in our face a little bit.
Yes, sir.
You know, because let me tell you, that I saw the Big T swap meet. This is not the Galleria Mall.
Okay.
This is a very hood spot.
Right, right.
I don't even know why he was over there.
Bingo.
I would not be hanging out
Thank you,
over
thank
there.
you.
You know what I
Yes,
mean?
I
But
understand.
he's out there, and I don't even know what his status is right now because he's not. I couldn't get a hold of him. I
Yes.
tried calling a bunch of times. Can't get a hold of him. He's not on social media. He hasn't posted anything. I don't think Boosie's ever been shot before.
It's a-
It's quite a
yeah, it changes your life.
yeah. You gotten shot?
Oh yeah, years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, at a club right here in Hollywood Palace
really.
in 1992. But it wasn't at me. There was a fight in the club. The guy left, and when he came back, as we was coming out the palace, he lit the place up, and I happened to be in the situation.
So you got hit.
Yeah,
Where?
across my neck.
Wow.
I got a tattoo now too. Yeah, years ago.
So you almost died.
Oh, absolutely.
So you got hit in the neck, and then did you feel it?
Yes. So I had the security guys and all of them helped me during the palace days. It was just a crazy situation.
Did you think you were about to bleed out?
At that moment, no. I don't. I think your mind goes numb and you really can't believe it's happening. You know, you deal with things and you. I'm just a different kind of guy. Some things happen to me and then I try to move on. Here's what's so crazy. I knew the dude.
You knew the guy did the shooting.
I knew because he pulled up in the 5.0 Mustang. That's when the 5.0 Mustang was just fire. And he emptied the clip. But Vlad, he stood there and emptied it twice.
He reloaded,
He
put a new clip in,
Yes,
cocked it back,
yes.
and started shooting
And this
again.
is all over an argument over a drink at a bar in the club.
Did he get arrested?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah, that part I don't know.
Okay.
But, you know, those guys didn't live that long. From South Central with the curls and the perms.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't live that long.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of LA, they just looted and fucked up Nipsey store. Did you see that?
Now, what was that about?
Who the fuck knows?
But the store was closed anyway, wasn't it? There was nothing in there.
Nah, I don't know. The store looked fucked up. It looked like they went in there and ransacked the place. I don't know if it was open, like completely open, or maybe it was open just for personal situations or whatever else, but man, you can't name a more respected figure in LA than Nipsey Hussle.
That
in
sounds like an
2020.
inside, because you know where that's right there on the corner, Slauson.
Yeah.
So for someone to do that, somebody had to see it. That's like on a major street going down Slauson and Crenshaw. You can't even, you have to, that type of damage, you driving by, you had to see something.
Man, the type of shit that happens in broad daylight in 2020 doesn't make any goddamn sense.
It doesn't
still
make any
haven't
sense,
gotten
right.
you know, FBG Duck had two cars. Like, FBG Duck was at the Gold Coast in Chicago, which is the equivalent of Fifth Avenue or Rodeo Drive. Like, you're talking about Louis Vuitton, Gucci stores, Dior, whatever. Two cars pulled up, bunch of guys got out and open fired in the middle of a fucking crowded street with tourists
People watching too
everywhere.
many movies, man.
And everything else like that, and they still haven't gotten caught. So you know, fucking Mo3 got killed on a freeway, like still.
And they still don't have
They still don't have anyone even arrested. I mean, they eventually found Pop Smoke's killers allegedly.
Yes. I
that
saw that.
happened months and months later.
Yes.
The level of boldness these days is like the Wild West.
It's like the Wild West.
You know, and I think part of it is like the cops are feeling like you know, people have turned against them and they're less willing to sort of do their jobs. You know, everyone's saying defund the police. And
Right.
So I kind of feel like, you know, like we still have an office in New York.
Yes.
And when I talk to people in New York, they're like, there's like drug dealing like right there, open air, cops around.
On
no
your
one
block?
cares. Yeah, on our block actually.
Man.
Yep, that's what I heard.
But that
That's what I
area,
heard.
because I stayed at
We're in Midtown.
yeah,
Like,
but
this
I
is
stayed down on the other side not too long ago, towards the east side. Nice hotel.
Yeah.
But when I walked in, the security was so serious, and I said, "Why?" I said, "Because they said because since the pandemic, the homeless situation has
what I'm
gotten
saying.
horrible down there." And we talk about Macy's. We talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah, it's right there.
you're not just in no low class place like you in
No.
some
Yeah,
fly
no,
shit.
Yeah, we're in Midtown Manhattan,
Yes.
a major business hub of
Amazing.
the world.
And the homeless situation is insane down there.
No, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. Well, since last time, Biden has been elected president.
Yes.
Even though Trump is not accepting the, he's not conceding.
That man puts a knot in my stomach that I can't explain. Like, every day you wake up, you can't be surprised, but he's so ignorant. You say to yourself, what the fuck is wrong with this man? What's so crazy? He doesn't see what he's done to the country. But what's crazy, he wants to run again in 2024.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I mean, because you would need the Republican nomination, and I don't think that.
But what they're saying is that he got the Republicans by the nuts because he has 74 million voters that voted for him.
True. No, listen, whatever rules, you can't say, well, historically, this hasn't happened before. Because historically, all the shit Trump has done has never happened before.
Yeah, exactly.
No president has never conceded after they clearly lost. I mean, it's not even close.
Yes.
It's not even close. Oh, I got frauded. No evidence of fraud anywhere.
None.
You got murdered.
But people still take it.
And run with it.
And run with it.
Well, what did you think about Lil Wayne taking a photo with him?
Well, we find out lately that he got paid.
Well, we're not sure. That's what 50.
I guarantee you he got paid.
Here's my theory. Because, I mean, 50 Cent got offered $1 million.
Yes.
I don't think $1 million really changes anything about Lil Wayne's lifestyle.
Okay.
I mean, this guy's worth.
He's worth it, yeah.
He's worth a lot.
Yes,
Lil Wayne could probably do one show somewhere and get $1 million.
Yes. But not in the pandemic.
Yeah, there's places he could go.
But I'm quite sure he gets great.
Massive catalog.
Exactly.
He's out of his shit with Birdman.
Yes.
So many. He's featured on damn near every big album.
Yes.
Like, he's been doing it since a little kid. He's got his business right at
Yes.
this point. I don't think $1 million would really make a difference. But here is my theory.
Okay.
And on January 20th, we'll see whether my theory is true or not.
Okay.
Lil Wayne is now facing 10 years for a gun case.
Yes, he is.
If you go ahead, now we can't show the photo because it's got some copyright issues.
Yes.
But if you go and Google Sammy Davis Jr. and Richard Nixon, you will see a photo with Sammy's head on Nixon's shoulder and like kind of like embracing him and so forth. The story behind that photo was that Sammy Davis had a massive IRS tax bill and Nixon made that go away.
Now, you know that's not true.
It's not?
Nope. I know this for a fact.
What happened?
They came after, not only did they come after,
They did go after him.
he had stuff hid that after he was dead, they went for the wife. When
Right.
the wife had stuff hidden here in Van Nuys and the storage bin, they found that shit
Found that.
and took that too.
But I heard there was a promise made by Nixon to help him out with that.
Okay, now that's
what I
probably
heard.
true, but
That's
I
what
don't
I
think
heard.
it went through.
It didn't go through. You're right. I did hear about how they went
Yes.
after him afterwards, right?
And I couldn't believe that because I was kind of hurting. I'm young because I was
Yeah.
going to college out here. And I'm like,
Yeah. From what I understand, black people were livid over that with Sammy Davis Jr.
The picture.
Just the picture and the whole.
And him leaving, him dying broke.
Well, not dying broke, but just cozying up to Nixon.
Oh, yeah.
People, he was even, if you looked at his last few concerts, people were booing him. And he had to like explain himself on stage and everything else like that. Like he was being booed.
Yeah, I don't understand the picture with Trump knowing.
Well, here's my theory.
Okay.
This whole, Lil Wayne is facing 10 years for that gun case. Remember, he already went to prison for a gun case, whatever, 8 years ago. So you can't say, oh, this is a first offense, this is whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a history of this.
And you know what feds do, right? They have a number system that they go by the book.
Right. And the feds don't lose.
They don't lose.
95% conviction rate.
Yes.
Wayne knew this thing was coming. So what I think is that he made a deal with Trump. He said, listen, I'll take a photo with you and show my support, and you pardon me on your way out.
That would be clever. But I know Lil Wayne since he was 16.
Okay.
He's not that clever. That's just a fact.
But what about the people around him?
Possible, but I don't think, the reason why I voted against Trump, because he's not the kind of man, and I tell my children this, I'm all about character. I would never want to do business with that man or sit down and he gives me a promise that he's going to do something. I wouldn't shake his hand. I wouldn't even be in the same room with him because as I've gotten older, I understand character and your word means everything. And I'll never trust that man.
Right. But if
there's
your
a but.
only way out of a 10-year bid
is
to take a photo with someone.
Oh, I'll absolutely do it. Fuck everybody else.
That you know your fan base is not going to like, but fuck it.
Yep.
But fuck it.
But I think he can get more than 10 too. So yes, I'll definitely take the picture. Oh, there's no doubt about it.
One picture to make a 10-year bid go away
Absolutely.
when you're Lil Wayne.
Yes.
You're not an actual criminal. You're not used to doing prison time.
That's
You've done it. You've hated it.
Right.
You're happy to be out.
That's right.
That's my theory. And by January 20th,
and
we'll
I hope,
we'll see whether I'm right or not.
And to Lil Wayne, you know, I've known you since you was a baby. If you see this, I hope that Vlad is right because I don't want you to go to do Fed time because he did time at Rikers the last time.
Yeah.
That's state.
That's state.
Yeah, Fed time is different. It'll be a little bit more cozier. You have a lot more snacks. But but state prison compared to feds is a different ball game and a little boring. I don't want jail for nobody.
Yeah.
This is why me and you do these shows because so many people watch us, so many people listen to us, and we want them to understand that when you're a rapper, entertainer, or whatever, stop hustling backwards. Why do you get in this business, get tattooed up, start doing drugs, and want to get into gangs and do crazy shit to get a case to either die or go to prison and leave your kids? Yeah. I don't get it.
Well, we recently did an interview with Dr. Dre from MTD Raps.
Okay, I haven't seen him in years, but I did see the clip. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of our guys, Sean Prez, he actually conducted the interview. But one of the main reasons I agreed to do the interview, outside of the fact that Dr. Dre is a legend.
Yes.
And he's got a very rich hip hop history. And we covered this at the end of the interview. At 56 years old, because of type 2 diabetes, Dre has had one of his legs amputated from the knee down and is now fully blind.
I'm a type 2 diabetic. I am a blind amputee who is a diabetic. I consider myself to be super bad. That's right, I'm a triple threat now. When I first was diagnosed and I first went blind, partly because of diabetes, yes, partly because I had an operation called retinopathy operation, where I had laser surgery to fix my retinas. But diabetes is a non-forgiving disease, and it chews away and takes your sight from you. And I've always been told I will get my sight back. There are times I have what they call flashes of vision. Mm-hmm. Like I could sit there right now and all of a sudden you could come in clear, in color, and I could see you, then it would phase away. Then I could sit in the car and ride on the block and I'd see everything and I go, oh shoot, look at that. There's times I see my hand. There's times I can look in the mirror and I see my shape. So I have what you call, I'm blind, officially blind, that's it.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So he did the interview, he was blind.
Blind. Yeah. Dre's younger than you.
Yeah.
You're 60?
Yes.
Dre is 56. You're in good health.
Yes.
You could see well.
Yes.
You have both your legs.
Yes, sir.
You don't have diabetes, right?
No, sir.
It was, to me, such an important visual to put out
Okay.
to the world. You know, and he has a GoFundMe page because now, you know, although he's not broke, you know, he's talking about now he has to move into a different type of house with more accessibility for a blind person
Yes.
and an amputee. And, you know, the physical therapy, not all of it's covered by insurance.
Yes.
And, you know, he's trying to raise money. And it's like, Dre has always been overweight.
Yes.
Since
always.
we've been introduced to Dr. Dre,
Yep.
he's had a giant belly.
Yes.
And he's been big.
Always.
And it was just so important to show, like, you only have one body.
Yes.
If you do not take your health seriously early in life,
Early in life.
it will catch up to you very early.
Yes.
56, although to the 20-year-olds seems like an old man, it is not
It is
that
not.
old.
It's not.
It's not. You're still, I'm 47.
Yes.
I plan to look like this at, you know,
And I
7
want all of
years-
y'all to look like me
Yeah, exactly.
when y'all get to my age.
9 years from now,
Right.
you know, I plan to look good and be
Yes.
thin. I've lost 20 pounds.
Yes.
You look good. You look great. To be in that state at that young of an age was, to me, very frightening.
Yes.
You know, and he has a good attitude.
Yes.
And, you know, he's positive and everything, but you know that it's not an ideal situation.
Well, I tell people, you know, everybody can't be smart, everybody can't be healthy, everybody can't be rich, everybody can't have mental peace. But when you have platforms like what we have, and if you have a good father, a good role model, again, the first thing that we had to teach, especially in the African American community, that when pandemics happen, diseases happen, Latinos and African Americans are the first to go. It hurts those communities at a higher rate because they're not taking their health very seriously. Underlining health conditions, diabetes, like I said, heart disease, smoking. And you have to start young because even at my age, you know, I got insurance with AIG, Mutual Omaha. And let me tell you, people, they serious.
Yeah.
And they come take your blood. They'll come to your home.
Right.
Am I right or wrong? They come to
No,
your house
you're right,
and take
you're
your
right.
blood. And they have questions to also set you up. And this is why people really have to take care of themselves.
It blows my mind how many young people just don't have health insurance at all.
It's insane.
Like you're if you have a pair of Jordans, if you buy a new pair of sneakers every month without health insurance, you're a fucking idiot.
And I'm trying to see from my podcast, the TK Kirkland podcast, to your show, to all the platforms we go on, we promote this to our people, right?
Health.
Not just me. I think most of the people that come on here, you bring this up and we talk about that. And we have to start taking it seriously because for some reason we don't respect money and we don't respect health.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why is that though, especially in 2020. I've seen the journey from high school, college, and people have always preached health. They have always preached save your money. And people know last year that Christmas was coming this year, and people still will end up broke or say, I'm not prepared for Christmas, when you knew last year Christmas was going to be here. Like,
Right.
It fucking blows my brain. And I said this on your show a long time ago, your bad planning should not be my emergency.
Right.
And when you're grown, people can ask you for $1, but they forget you have a mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
You have car insurance, you have children, you have things that you attend to. So when you say, yeah, I think I can do that, and then you don't come through, they get mad. I'm grown. When you're grown, you already have responsibilities already. So your bad planning, your emergency comes out of nowhere. Now I have to jeopardize how I bust my ass every month. Because no matter how much money you have, and I tell this to my son, it's still a game of checkers. Because sometimes you flip to pay this, you wait for that to happen. It's a mind blowing. Your mind never sleeps. You constantly strategizing, no matter how much you have, from mortgage to car note down, life insurance. It's insane, and people have to start young, start preparing. And I think we had talked about this too. I want to tell men that if you don't have a zip code or an address that's your name that on you, you are homeless.
Yeah, facts.
Facts.
Yep.
You are homeless. And in today's world, 2020, this has to stop.
Well, by the time this comes out, it would have already passed, but the Gucci Mane and Jeezy Verzuz is about to go off. And I remember when it was originally announced where it was Jeezy versus T.I.
Yes.
And I remember, I even said this in interviews and online, I'm like, this is cool, but what people really want to see is Gucci and Jeezy.
Now.
And it happened.
Yes.
Now, you were going to say something?
Yes. Now, I did a movie with Gucci.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, is Birds of a Feather. So,
oh, yeah.
Me and Gucci played in that together.
Zaytoven was
involved. Zaytoven, yep.
Right.
I know Jeezy. I know T.I., so we're going to talk about all that. I felt bad that Busta was coming down on T.I. I felt bad that, to me, I thought Busta was bullying T.I.
He wasn't, I didn't feel like he was bullying. I think what T.I. said was that generationally, that Verzuz doesn't make sense because Busta is an older artist and the majority of his sort of real catalog was before T.I.'s time.
Yes, but let me go deeper.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Busta Rhymes perform?
Yeah, he's incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Anybody should fear Busta Rhymes because his show is on a whole nother level. I don't think there's anybody, and I really mean this, I don't think there's any artist that can go toe to toe with Busta Rhymes. So when I saw him going at the T.I., I was like, oh no, Busta, T.I. can't mess with you. And T.I. bowed out gracefully, and I respect T.I. for what he's done and his hard working. And I thought it was amazing when he got pushed into a corner and he said, let's bring on Jeezy and Busta. But to fast forward to the verses, I think, of the decade between Gucci and Jeezy, I didn't know the history.
Oh, I knew the history.
Yeah, they told me you knew the history. Yeah, see, when I was talking to my people out in Scranton, Pennsylvania, they said that you knew what was going on because I think you did an interview or something on one of the situations. And when I found out about somebody getting shot, someone dying, this is why what they're doing is great for the culture. And let me explain to you why. I've always talked about on the show, men controlling their emotions. I always talked about putting yourself in a better situation. Well, knowing that one of their friends died, knowing that there was a chain involved, there was a shooting, Gucci Mane beat the case because of self-defense. For these two to be in the same room, and if they can get past this and somehow shake hands afterwards or even give each other a brace, regardless of the hate that you see out here, right? Or talking to Jeezy that he's this and that, or talking bad about Gucci, it's bigger than that. If these two can come together and work, it's going to be great for the culture, the show that as you grow older, you get wise, you become better men, you get strong. And a good example is The Godfather. See, when Marlon Brando's son got shot, Sonny, Marlon Brando still had to sit down and deal with the people that killed his son because it was about business. And could you imagine the pain? Your son that you love dearly, you still have to sit down with these group of people that killed your son?
Yeah, I mean, the story with Gucci and Jeezy, from what I understand, because I remember I interviewed Zaytoven about this. Gucci had a song called So Icy.
Yes.
That Jeezy was featured on. And there was some sort of friction over that song, whether it was supposed to be on someone's album or someone else's album. There was some sort of issue. I remember I even interviewed Jeezy about this really early on. And I brought it up. He's like, I don't give a fuck about it. I'm icy. Like, I don't give a shit about that. But from what the producer told me is that he thinks it's something to do with that. And we'll play that. So at what point did Gucci and Jeezy have the falling out? Because they both have a hit single together for the first time in their lives. Like, what happened?
That I'm not really sure, man. You know, I'm not really sure. Maybe it's the ownership of the song or not being able to share the song equally maybe became the problem.
Now, Zay was the producer of that?
Zay was the producer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then do you know Zay's history? Zay is a producer, but you know he cuts hair.
Didn't know that part.
Listen to me. Zay produced it. I mean, he goes to a barbershop and cuts people's hair every week.
Really?
And I took that as, I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he also plays organ in his church. And he gives 10% of his money back to the church.
Yes, I met his mother,
this day,
I met his dad, met his mom. They always at the premiere.
He doesn't swear, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke.
Very nice young man.
Very nice. The opposite of like Gucci. And the fact that they're so close has always been interesting to me. So there was some sort of friction over that song. They started dissing each other. Jeezy puts out a mixtape. There's a song on there where he basically says, I'll give X amount of dollars, someone bring back Gucci's chain. A couple of guys affiliated with Jeezy end up running up into a house that Gucci was at. I think he had taken a stripper home or something like that.
Wow.
In an effort to rob him or do something to him. The story is that Gucci had a pistol on him, ended up killing one of them.
Right.
Right. And he put out a song later on where he said, go dig your partner up. I bet you can't say shit.
Right. And I read that and I wasn't understanding what I was reading.
That's a verse.
Yes.
That's Gucci talking about Jeezy's
Yes,
homie.
I figured it out today. It took me a minute. I'm slow. Once I put the two and two together, I said, oh shit.
And that's essentially a checkmate. Like, what do you respond to that?
Yes.
What can you say?
Now,
when
that's what makes this even more incredible, right?
Yeah.
For them two to be in the room. And if they can get past that verse, if they can get past what happened, it's going to be huge for the culture. I think that it can really make young men say, you know what, those two brothers can get past that. We should try to take a shot to treat each other with utmost respect. When I was young, and I got my loved ones in the room, but I want to share the story. I had a friend named Aaron. And I used to dibble and dab in the streets a little bit. So I'm at A&M Studios, which is not too far from here, on the corner of Sunset. And I'm in the studio with Janet Jackson. But my side hustle is the streets. My friend Aaron is constantly calling me for my connect because he wanted to make some money. And I always told him, nah, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. But he caught me slipping this day because I'm hanging with Janet Jackson. We're in the studio. We having a good time. And I called another connect out of Carson, California. Carson, California, those guys come up. They meet me. I introduce everybody. The money transaction goes down. As they're going down, my phone is blowing up. The guys had sold my associates drywall.
Instead of cocaine.
Exactly. Now my heart is in my effing stomach in the studio. We got to pay back the money. So my friend Aaron, they snatch him. They kidnap him. So they call me and I'm like, yo, I'm being tough because I'm not the one in the room. So I'm on the phone, fuck that, we ain't going out like that, blah, blah, blah. But it's easy for me. He's like, TK, come get me. So I had some other homies in the street named Sinbad and another gentleman. They helped me out. We paid back part of the money. They let them go, but there still was a debt owed. So every now and then I would run into the guy that the debt was owed, and we would talk, and nothing really got out of hand. So now I'm become a stand-up comedian. Years later, we haven't seen each other in years. I'm in Detroit, Michigan. Packed shows, my show. I'm coming up the steps. He's coming in with a woman. First thing in my mind, if he had something, I had something, we probably drew on each other. Me and that gentleman walked to the bar, had a drink, and spoke like men and squashed that and knew, because we were young kids at that time, that we had outgrown that situation and it wasn't worth it. And this is what I'm trying to explain to young kids. See, how you feel today at 22, 23, 24. See, when you kill somebody, that person can't come back. You can't apologize to that person one day and say, yo, we was kids, yo. Let's not even trip. Let me buy you a drink and we keep moving on. That's just the gift of living to be old. You get to become a better man if that's what you pursue.
Oh, right. I mean, I remember my first and only drug deal in my mid-20s was this guy who I was very close to. We even went to school together. It was for a kilo of cocaine for $17,000 that he ripped me off for.
Wow.
Point blank period. Just ripped me off. And occasionally I would run into him and he would, oh no, I'm going to pay you back. And you know, and I remember just the anger for years.
Yep.
You know, I was broke for a long time. I'm
Right.
like, fuck, this 17,000 could really help me out.
Right.
And I remember when I sat down this one time with Freeway Ricky Ross, and I told him the story. And he said, well, you know, if he didn't rip you off, there's a pretty good chance you would be in prison. Had he not ripped me off, I would probably have gone to prison. And it just put the whole thing in such a perspective for me that
he did you a favor.
He actually did me a favor. That $17,000 kept me out of prison.
We never think about that, do we?
Yeah, you don't think about, hell, what if this was a successful drug deal? And we just, because my thing was like, I had just seen Deep Cover. I'm trying to be the white guy, you know, financing the drug operation.
Right.
And like, I didn't need the money. I had a successful business. I would have probably taken the profits and put it into 2 kilos.
Yes, or you probably would have kept going.
Kept going.
Yep.
And I'm like, yo, I didn't even think about it that way. Like, yo, like, all I lost was 17,000. And I also started to realize that me telling this story in my interviews, I've earned that money back and then some.
Yes, yes.
And now it's like 17,000.
It still hurts a little.
Not so much.
Not so much,
Not
though.
so much, because now 17,000 doesn't really, literally has zero effect on my life.
Exactly.
If someone said, here's an extra 17,000, I wouldn't do anything. I just put in the bank with my money. Like, I wouldn't go buy anything. It'd be like, all right, not a big amount of money in 2020 for me.
Right.
So I have no type of, if I see the guy, I'd be like, yo, don't worry about it. Just keep it. I'm good.
Yes.
No, it's cool. But it's like, but the anger at the time, like, yo, I want to kill him. I want to get him fucked up. I want to go see his son at one of his basketball games.
Right.
Like, you know, and make my, like, doing stupid shit in my mind that I really have no business doing. But you're so angry and in this amount of money that sounds so significant that you're willing to throw the rest of your life away. I'd be the stupidest motherfucker in prison over $17,000.
You damn sure would,
knowing
sir.
what my future was holding.
Absolutely. And this is what I want the young kids to hear what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you gotta let it just go.
Just let it go.
I know, listen
It's
to me,
cool.
we know that it hurts.
Yeah. And you know something? The last time I saw this dude, this was probably like, I don't know, 10 years ago.
He was
It
doing
in a
bad.
club. He wasn't really doing bad, but he looked exactly the same way as how I remember him.
Yes.
He was with the same group of bummy friends.
Yep.
All of them were just low-level criminals.
Yes.
The exact same group.
Yes.
Wearing the same looking clothes.
Yes.
not doing shit. We had a conversation. He's telling me what he's doing now. It sounded like some bullshit.
Yes.
He could have gone on the ride with me.
Yes.
He could have been my best friend. He
Yep.
could have been my business partner. He could have done a lot fucking with me. But that 17,000 was too enticing for him. So he took it.
And to the fellas and women who are listening, let success be your best revenge.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it's a beautiful feeling.
What do you think about the Dr. Dre divorce? Because you know Dre.
Yeah, I know Dre very well.
Do you know his wife or his ex-wife?
I never met his wife.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't there, so I don't know the situation. But to me, this is another thing where I think women should throw the emotion out and finesse the game. And here's just some game, ladies. If you got a man that rich, he's still letting you live in the home in Malibu. He's still paying all the bills. You're still driving nice cars. They say that he still sends chefs over there to feed you 3 times a week, right? But you didn't get into the big house, and you put your 25 years in. Okay, and that's not shabby. You had 2 kids with him. I get it.
I think 1 kid.
Or 1 kid.
Yeah.
But what women need to understand that when you date a successful man, or when a man dates a successful woman, you got to play the Stedman.
Yeah.
Stedman, who is date Oprah Winfrey, to this day, you have not heard nothing about this man.
He's never done an interview?
Never done an interview.
I don't think I've actually heard him talk.
Never even talked.
He might be mute.
Listen to me. Is that some unbelievable shit?
Yeah.
Not one problem.
He
So my
knows-
point is you got to
knows
play
his
your
position.
position. So Dr. Dre's wife should fall back because I think Dr. Dre is a nice gentleman. And when you got that kind of money, if you just chill and just say, baby, you know what? We had a nice run. It was a good thing. You know what? Let me just keep this. Give me a few dollars. I'm gonna get this on my own. I'm good. She'll win.
Right, because
How can you beat a man that got Jimmy Iovine, who already went through 1 divorce, so you know he mentoring him. You know he mentoring him on what to do, what to hide. You know this.
Right. Well, he had a prenup, but apparently he ripped it up in front of her. But
Apparently.
but
Dre ain't no fool.
I'm sure he kept the original.
Yeah.
But then again, I heard in California, after 10 years, prenups are thrown out the window.
I don't know the law.
I don't know, but he's
Yes.
worth $800 million.
Yes.
What I'm thinking from the outside looking in, and I've met Dre briefly one
Okay.
time. Like I don't know him at all. This almost seems to me like something really bad happened.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
She's angry.
She's angry.
Maybe he gave her like HIV or something.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Not to
Yes.
say that's really happened.
Yes, but something bad happened.
One of these incurable kind of diseases.
But because she has hatred.
He got her mother pregnant, or like something hellacious happened.
Yes.
that just cannot be forgiven. And she's like, I'm gonna take every penny I can get.
Yes.
Fuck you.
But I just think that's to a woman scorn, as they say.
Yeah.
And you know my thing on marriage. I believe when you're an entertainer, I believe when you got that kind of money, you got to stay single. This is just me. I believe that marriage is not fair. People who are married, I just seen too many downfalls in my lifetime. And I've seen people truly in love, and they go off, in the sunset. Yo, you get a prenup? No.
Well,
I'm like, yo, you know it's a business. Oh, no, I don't care about all that.
no, I think every single person should get a prenup. Every person. I think just period. Should just have a prenup. And that prenup just needs to be fair. It doesn't have to be like you get nothing and I get everything. It should
I respect that.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
should be
I
like,
respect
hey,
that.
look, you know, every few years redo the prenup. Okay, look, I got $1 million, so if we get a divorce, I'm gonna get you $200,000.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right,
okay,
I like that.
Now I got $10 million. Now I'll give you $1 million.
Yeah, when
Like,
you get
know,
that kind of money.
yeah.
But you're saying on any level.
I think in any situation where there's an uneven level of earning,
Yep.
whether the woman makes more, whether the
Yes.
man
Yep.
makes more, at the end of the day, the way the laws are set up are ridiculous.
Or
So-
try to, what's they say? Or try to marry equally yoked.
Equally, exactly.
Make sure they
Because,
have something to lose.
You know, and I think a lot has to go into, you know, whoever you partner up with really has to accept you for who you really are.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a guy who likes to have sex with a bunch of different women, and that's always been the case, you need a woman that's going to accept that.
No, you don't get married.
Or you get a woman that accepts that.
Or you don't get
They'll accept
married.
that. But if you don't get married, right,
Mm-hmm.
you then don't have someone in your corner who is really there for you and will really have your best interest.
Some people
at
need
heart.
that.
I think most people need that.
I'm 60. I don't need it.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. My kids will tell you that. I'm a warrior. I don't need that. I don't need nobody beside me when I die. I don't need nobody to take care of me when I'm ill.
All right, fair enough.
I don't need all that.
You don't need all
when
that.
I go, I go. You know, my kids get their checks. I'm gone. See you. Love you. I'm glad that you're here. I'm not doing all that. Mm-mm.
You know Suge.
Yes.
And I remember I interviewed Michelle A.
Yes.
And Michelle A. has a baby with Dre.
Which I think is...
And Suge. Which is crazy.
It's
crazy.
I found that out in an interview.
Yeah?
On TV that happened.
Yeah.
When Dre did the big special on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
And all I said to myself, shit cold, boy.
Right, because, you know, I just interviewed Mob James again.
Yes.
And he talked about how Suge is notorious for messing with other people's women.
Yes.
Notorious.
Yes.
Every problem that I have had, pretty much, was either about a woman or it was about money.
Yeah.
Most times, especially when it comes to me, because I don't be messing with other dudes' girls, or I've literally never done that in life. I always thought that was lame.
Right.
Right? Suge likes to do that. That's Suge's thing.
Bad.
You know, I remember, for example, like a tangent, like Left Eye, when Andre Rison broke up with her,
Mm-hmm.
she went to go live with Suge. She just moved in. I remember Andre's face when he found out, like, damn.
I could tell you with a straight face that in my 47 years, I've never done it. To me, it's unappealing.
To do what?
To try to mess with a girl who someone I know is somehow connected to.
Oh, absolutely.
To me, it's like, what's the fucking point?
Yes, yes.
There are 1 billion women on this earth. I have to choose this person that comes with a set of problems?
Exactly.
Why?
But people,
why?
I agree with you, Vlad. And people still
do it. Like, I remember I interviewed Andre Rison.
Yes.
Who was in a very serious relationship with Left Eye.
Yes.
And at one point, Left Eye moved in with Suge.
Yes. And matter of fact,
and they know each other.
And you're the one that told me that. And
yeah. Like,
this is the thing that the entertainment industry needs to understand.
It's like incestuous.
You got to understand that your reputation follows you. And to me, if you're a man's man, don't nobody want to walk in the room with your girl knowing, yo.
She fucked half the guys in the room.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
I don't care who, man.
Right, because I remember you mentioned the whole Kanye, Kim Kardashian.
Yes, let me tell you, every time I think about that, people sometimes think I'm crazy for mentioning that, but I'm telling you, half his problems comes from he has to deal with that because she is a beautiful woman. Yeah. She is very successful, right? And to walk in the room not knowing who was with your girl, especially if you're not strong, so you got to be, you got to have a cold heart, and you really have to have a not give a fuck attitude to deal with her. I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm saying to deal with her past. You got to be a strong man. No disrespect to Kanye West, but he ain't a strong man.
You know, I don't get that impression.
No, he's not a strong man.
He's pretty fragile.
Yeah, he's pretty fragile.
Anyone who cancels their whole U.S. tour on stage because they're just not feeling it at the time.
Yes.
Is not a strong
Yeah,
man.
not a strong man.
You're talking about thousands of people are affected by this temper tantrum you're having.
And I
right
want
now.
people who are Kanye West fans that you hear me say the story, just tell him to man the fuck up because I get tired of y'all too. Co-signing for this motherfucker when we have young kids out here who love his music because before he got married, that motherfucker was a monster in that music game.
Yeah.
Man, when you listen to his music and what he was going.
It doesn't even compare to what he's doing now.
Doesn't even compare.
Yeah, you listen to Jesus is King and you think, oh, this is pretty good. And then you compare it to one of his old albums, you're like, this is not very good.
Man, he was on something extremely special.
Oh, yeah.
So I push masculinity. I always say it. I always try to make men try to be better men. I want women to be better women. And the things that we talk about from health insurance to, I don't care how many times I come on this show with you, I want to always push health insurance.
Yep.
I want to always push health. I always want to push, if you have depression, speak to someone, take care of your body, to have peace of mind. Because the greatest gift we can give you on this show when I'm on, that I want everybody to have, is peace of mind.
Well, you had mentioned that MC Ren from N.W.A. Slept with your girl.
Yeah, well, it wasn't my girl. When I was young, I was a player.
Right.
So I used to like to fly women different places and all that kind of stuff. So when we flew in from, we was on the Outta Compton tour, and I got this girl in Kansas City. I go do the show, but she's taking her time getting dressed. Now this is my first tour, so I'm learning. So I have to be there for sound check at 6. So I go, and she doesn't show up. Still doing my thing, it doesn't show up. So she finally comes. No, I'm not thinking anything. I'm a young kid. I'm on tour with N.W.A. having a good time. So 2 o'clock in the morning, Eazy-E knocks on the door. I got my pajamas on, I come to the door cracking. He said, TK, come here. You know, his little ass, come here. So I get outside, shut the door halfway. He says, Ren slept with that girl while you was on stage. I'm like, what? And he falls out in the hallway. And he just doesn't fall out. He's rolling down the hallway laughing at me. So pride, I go into the room, I wake the young lady up, and I tell her she had to go. I took all her stuff and put it in the hallway.
Right.
And shout out to MC Ren. I'm not mad at you because we see each other all the time.
Yeah. Eazy-E, it's funny how he's laughing because how many kids did Eazy-E end up having?
About 19.
Seriously?
No. He had a lot.
Let's look it up. 11.
Wow.
Kids were showing up after he died.
Yes.
Apparently there's like 2 Erics.
Yes.
He has 2 kids named Eric.
Yes. Yeah.
Lil Eazy is the Eric that most people know. I've interviewed him before.
Yeah.
But
he looked just like his dad.
But there's another Eric that popped up.
Now, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Now, I know his daughter. What's his daughter's name?
There's a few daughters. Which one?
The one
she
was out trying to be a rapper.
I mean, there's Aaron, Bria Wright, there's Erica Wright, there's Deja, there's Raven. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The light-skinned girl.
Light-skinned girl,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man, he had a lot of kids. And I remember listening to this interview with Howard Stern back in the day where he just said he don't use condoms at all.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And and during that time too, I had to be, I'm guilty because I got 5.
Yeah.
So
they came during that era?
Yeah, they came during that era.
Okay.
And
we have a few of them sitting
I got a few here right now, my babies. You know what I'm saying? So I got lucky. The only thing I could say with having children, as you young artists, athletes, and these things come up, try to have your child with one woman and not all over the place.
Yeah, Boosie, I remember saying.
Man.
Boosie said he wished he didn't skeet in all these different women. He
Man.
said he would have skeeted all
if I had to do it all over again, one woman with my children and a woman who is really into being a mother, not still trying to party, not still trying to do things they should have done in their 20s and 30s. About a woman who is really there for the backbone of the family. That's what I would do different. I would have children with one woman.
Had you ever messed with the same girls that Eazy was messing with?
Never.
Never.
Yeah.
When you found out, the announcement that he was HIV positive, did that freak you out?
No, it didn't freak me out. I just didn't understand it. It bothered me because what people don't know, and I share this, me, Eazy, and Jerry Heller had a comedy thing on the table called Ruthless Comedy. And Jerry had signed off on it, Eazy had signed off on it, and believe it or not, I was locked up again in Chicago this time when he died. And I was like, damn, there goes that dream. So from that dream, I think that's why I messed with everybody in the hip hop industry, from Jay-Z to the Cash Money Millionaires to 50 Cent, because me and 50 had a deal on the table with Chris Lighty and William Morris, and it was going to be called the G's of Comedy. And this is when 50 was at the height, man. And at that time, I had this agent. We was working the deal together, but Chris Lighty took a year to sign the deal. And by that time, I had got grown strong and wanting to do things on my own.
Right, because you were in the Window Shopper video.
Right, Window Shopper video, absolutely.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I didn't do I didn't sign the deal with Chris Lighty and them. But I want to also, since we brought up the Window Shopper, I want to thank 50 for bringing me over to Monaco, paying me all that money, first class. They had one of the baddest James Bond limousine drivers waiting for me when I got off the plane. And I'm gonna tell you how serious that trip was. We was in Monaco for 3 days. When I got off that plane, I had to be ready to work. Like, we worked 3 days straight. Like, we didn't get a chance to hang out. We didn't get a chance to party.
Right, he's not paying for that shit. He's paying for you to work.
Listen to me. I got off the plane at like 6 in the morning. I was on the set at 8 for 3 days. And by the time we was done, you could only go to sleep. Back on the set again. 3 days straight. They went on tour. They sent me back to California.
Well, I think you had mentioned with Eazy that he had made $22 million off of Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, Straight Outta Compton, because he only put like $5,000 into the album.
That's all it cost.
That's all it cost.
Because Dre did all the work.
Yeah.
They had their own
And
studio.
you saw how that started, right? Eazy wasn't supposed to rap.
No, he wasn't.
And it just happened. Dre said, get in the studio.
They pushed him into the booth.
Isn't that the most free? Now, Dre has to be one of the most luckiest and most creative producers in the world, because he knew Eminem was going to be a success from the first time he heard him. But to hear Eazy-E, never heard him rap before in a minute, but knew at that moment this man could be a star. That's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. I remember when we interviewed the other Dr. Dre, the MTD Raps Dr. Dre, he called the movie Straight Outta Fiction, because he said that he helped put a lot of the pieces together. Like, for example, like he's the one that hooked up Ice Cube with, Chuck D and the Bomb Squad and everything else like that. He felt a certain type of way that he wasn't mentioned at all.
Then when you watch Straight Outta Fiction, Compton, I sit there and go, how do you tell your tale like you were on radio stations all over the country? You were not. Because those stations didn't exist till Ed and I were on Hot 97. So let's just do a timeline. What year did Straight Outta Compton come out?
The actual record, Straight Outta Compton, what is that? 88, 89, somewhere in there?
89. Let's say 89 to 90. How many hip hop radio stations were around the country?
Almost none.
Thank you.
Almost none. Very
so how do you make the movie and say, oh yeah, you had K-Day out there in LA. You had certain things locally that you were popular on. But even then, you couldn't play some of those records. You had to edit them. What made you who you were? Isn't that why Jerry Heller and I were sending us stuff and flying us back and forth, Ed Lover, Dr. Dre? Because MTD Raps today. Fab Five Freddy went out there and did one. They liked us more on the daily thing. They flew us out there more times. Now, did I get a gold record, a platinum record, or anything? Not even a thank you.
Yeah, the movie was set. I could easily say I should have been in the movie too. But
Yeah.
Ice Cube did that movie based on through his eyes.
Right.
And that's what I took as respecting his creativity. Because who the fuck wouldn't want to be in that movie?
Yeah.
That movie was, the marketing that they did on that movie alone was phenomenal.
Great movie.
Great movie.
I liked it.
Yes.
One of the best hip hop biopics ever.
It was truly
Yeah.
done well. Shout out to F. Gary Gray.
You said that Madonna turned out Dennis Rodman.
Yes.
Okay, explain.
Now, me and Dennis Rodman went to the Super Bowl together at the Rose Bowl when Michael Jackson performed. And John Sally, I met them through John Sally because John Sally is like my big brother / friend. And believe it or not, I was hanging out with the Pistons back then. And Dennis was just a great guy. So we go to the game. I'm realizing he's telling me about his story because he was married, he had babies with this white woman. And the white woman wouldn't let him see his child. And that really, really bothered him. Then a week later, and I hate to bring up his business, but I'm quite sure everybody knows it's public information, he tried to off himself in the parking lot.
John Sally actually told this story.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
He was, his wife or his girl, whatever.
Yeah,
they
she
had
was
this
taking him through it.
This crazy relationship. And
Yes.
he went and got a shotgun and was ready to like kill himself.
Yep.
And Dennis comes to the arena, but he always had, he has a dually, because he's in Texas. Of course you need a dually in Detroit. Smartest car to have though with the snow they had. And he has a gun rack in the back and he has his rifle because he's a country boy and that's what they do. And he's sitting there and I think it's Matt pulls up or Mike Abnow pulls up first. Somebody pulls up and sees, D-Rod, what are you doing here? And he's sitting there in the car and he's obviously somewhere else. And Mike says, I think it's Mike Abnow, I got to get him in, you got to bring him into the spot. But his gun wasn't in his gun rack. So when that was told to me that his gun wasn't in the gun rack, it was next to him, I believed he had the capability of ending his life right then. Because in that moment, his life was ended. Because Annie meant that much.
After that, I had seen him for years, and we knew some of the same people, but then I saw the earring in his lip. Then I saw the blonde hair. Then I saw the fingernail polish. And I just then I seen a wedding dress.
Right, and the full makeup.
The full makeup, and I still know his people, like we still know each other. But I'm the kind of guy, when I see something that I don't see, I don't really question it. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck. But as long as you ain't doing it with me, like fuck that. And when I saw that, I just allowed him to be him and not question anything about it. Because I've lived long enough to see people change. I lived long enough to see people go from great to good. Lived long enough to see people go from bad to great. I've seen it all.
And you think that was all Madonna?
Madonna had this ability to get into your soul, to make you feel like you should be who you want to be, don't let no one control you, etc. And I think that's this, and it's just my opinion. I wasn't in the room.
Okay.
I don't know how she had oral sex with him or whatever. I don't know. It's just my opinion.
So you're saying she was the original Erykah Badu?
Absolutely.
Right.
Because I heard, now my son put me up on Erykah Badu.
Yeah.
My son said to me, Dad, every woman, every man that Erykah Badu dates becomes a different person.
Yeah.
They become spiritual, the way they dress, it's just amazing, that kind of woman, how she changes men.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I think she even said in an interview, she was like, "Oh, I heard that you'll wear funny pants after dating Erykah Badu." But I remember I interviewed Bilal,
yes,
the R&B singer who worked with her a lot.
Yes,
he said that like looking in her eyes is like staring into the universe. You said that you can't look into Erykah Badu's eyes.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can.
What does that mean?
She just has an enchanting stare, you know. It's like you staring into the universe, you know.
That's crazy. See, and this is why they need me on this earth. This is why I'm born. I'm born to stop that bullshit.
Cut that shit out.
Yeah, man, let me tell you.
Damn universe.
Yeah, see, this is the shit I teach my children. Don't be falling for that bullshit. The eyes, the universe, shit. Oh, you weak motherfuckers. I wish I just go to the people that's watching this that's so weak and choke these weak they weak, man. Work hard, take care of your women, treat them good, and keep it moving. I understand loving and all that kind of bullshit, you know. Listen to the TK Kirkland podcast, yo. Shit.
You said that Jay-Z was always late and lost a lot of money in the process.
Yes. When we was touring together, well, it all started, they did my 35th birthday party. And I wound up paying Jay-Z $1,500. But we know we networking backstage and we stay in touch. But now we're going everywhere. I'm seeing them in Cancun. And believe it or not, you know, you would think that I had probably more money than them at that time, because we're staying at the Ritz-Carlton. You know, we got the whole penthouse suite. Who's underneath us at that time? The guys that owned Fubu.
Okay.
Fubu, those guys. They was on like my whole crew. We was just successful street dudes, and me trying to become a comedian at the time. So promoters used to book us in different shows, and I just so happened to be so blessed to be opening up these shows. And the shows would get canceled because they would say Jay-Z and they missed the flight more than one time.
Mm.
So it's amazing. I don't know what happened for them to really get on track to success, but something happened that got them, that whole crew, focused. And I seen it with my own eyes. They just took off. And I remember one time being at a show with Jay-Z and them in Philly. I don't know what kind of jewelry Jay-Z had on, but when the light hit that motherfucker, let me tell you something. It was burgundy and blue and all kind of stuff that was fluorescent in the stadium. It was just and believe it or not, it made you strive hard to work if that's was your dream. And that's what I try to tell young men. If you want an expensive car, get it, because get it out your system, you know that you had it. But learn to save and only spend money when you know you're going to replace money. People spend and don't replace. And we had this thing about Michael Jackson when I told you that long time. What made Michael Jackson broke? Because he had an astronomical spending habit, but he never replaced the money. And that's why he had to go do that tour.
Right, because, and I've said this before, a Rolls Royce is not a symbol of success.
No, sir.
It appears to be that from the outside looking in,
yes,
but you have a depreciating asset.
Yes.
That Rolls Royce is losing money by the second.
Yes.
Right? Unless you have like some sort of special edition, whatever, but in general, 99% of the Rolls Royces, Bentleys, Ferraris, Maseratis, and I've had exotic cars like this.
Yes.
You get it out your system. You get it. You realize it's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yes.
You know, you end up getting a more practical car at one point. At least for me, it was.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, if you could get a Rolls Royce and you're still sitting on millions of dollars, whatever, that's cool. But the majority, like, I think I'd asked Black Youngster. I said, "Do you have more money in your parking lot, in your driveway, than in your bank account?" And he said, "In his driveway." And it's like,
my driveway's stupid.
Okay, how many cars you got now?
I got about 12.
12 cars.
That ain't including cars. I bought so many cars for other people. I done bought more cars, but I got 12 of my own, like 12 of my own cars.
You have 12 cars. Now, I'm assuming these are not Toyotas and Hondas.
Nah.
Hyundais.
Hell no.
Okay. So do you have over $1 million in cars?
Hell yeah, easy. That's
3 million? 3 million?
I won't want to say no numbers. I might be lying. Cause I bought them at different times, and I ain't never just out back add it up. I got over $1 million though for sure.
So would you say that you have more money in your bank account than your driveway?
Hell nah.
All right. Well, you're gonna eventually learn the error of this
Absolutely.
thinking, because your driveway is losing money every day.
Absolutely.
Your bank account, if it's properly invested in the stock market or whatever else, is going to keep growing and keep compounding.
Yes.
But listen, you can't tell someone,
and you don't
who's
spend
got money
cash
for the first time.
You don't buy a Rolls Royce cash.
You lease it.
You lease it. You fucking. I got a curse. You dummies.
Yeah.
I pay cash for.
So what?
You a fucking fool.
Right.
If you pay cash for any car.
Yeah, I agree. I lease all my cars.
Yeah, I lease. The
all
fuck
day.
you buying a car for?
All day. But people will.
You can drive a Rolls Royce to the supermarket.
You know what a broke motherfucker will tell you? That ain't really your car. You just leasing it.
That's so true.
Am I right?
Yep.
You just renting that car.
Yep.
It ain't really yours unless you bought it.
Yes.
Dumbass.
And that makes you seem, and people really think I'm dumb because I don't own it.
Right.
You smart if you don't own
it. Meek Mill said it. When I bought that new Ferrari, y'all thought it was leased. His biggest song ever.
Yes.
I know right now, Meek looks at that line and said, yeah, that's me with new money.
Oh, yeah,
I know better now.
For sure.
I know better, because let me tell you, all the rich people that I talk to,
yes,
they all lease.
Yep.
All of them. Every last one.
You will spend $300,000 on a car. It don't make no damn sense.
No. Were you there for the Lox and Benzino brawl?
Yes. I
just interviewed Sheik Luch.
Yes.
He said it was like 6 versus like hundreds.
To my understanding, we all in the dressing room, and we hear some commotion and shit. My man run in and shit. He say, yo, Zeno and them there, they in the hallway, they looking for X. X had allegedly done something to one of their sisters, like you said. And it wasn't like one of their sisters or something, but he ain't coming out the dressing room. They banging on his door. He ain't coming out his dressing room. He in there though. He in the dressing room. They said they're gonna fuck up everybody on the tour if they can't get to him. Us. Word. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Styles go the whole way. Let me go see what's going on with this shit, Luch. All right, go ahead. Me and Busy in the back, we drinking and shit. Whatever, cards in the dressing room. Styles come back in. Yo, fuck that. All right, then it was on. It was on the Lox, with them and the Lox. Hell yeah. They was
How
deep
deep
though.
were you guys that night? Because it wasn't just the 3 of y'all.
Nah, it was like probably 6 of us, 7 of us. They had 100 motherfuckers with them, but we was getting busy. Yeah. They had a lot. They had a lot of motherfuckers looking for X. We came in the hallway and just got straight to it.
Right. And
It started. I think they threw something. One of my homies threw something back, like the fuck out of here. And their crew was like, the fuck out of here. And that shit was like West Side Story at first. Yo, it was like, like a line. Nobody wouldn't cross that shit. So we got to pop, boom. Then it starts.
Let me tell you something. I got so much respect for the Rough Riders. Now, I didn't know what was going on. I told you, when I toured everybody, I'm my own independent company. I go about my business. I ain't trying to hang with y'all afterwards. But I remember getting to that. We was in Boston. And even though it was Boston, I'm thinking about the shows in Miami and Atlanta coming up, and I'm excited about it. Because as a comedian, I was already had a nice reputation down there.
Mm-hmm.
I come in the dressing room, I'm in the lobby, and I'm noticing the tension. Rough Riders going in their room, made men doing their thing. But everybody respects me. No problem. T to the motherfucking K. No problem. Then a fight breaks out. But they all are fighting past, like nothing is touching me. But the night before, I noticed that the Rough Riders was buying knives and bulletproof vests. We were somewhere, and I just thought they were just purchasing the stuff just to purchase. I didn't know it was gonna come in handy. So the next thing I know, these fights are happening, and I'm in shock because I'm always in the place, and I'm like, is this really happening? And then I realize on the news, we get to the hotel, people got stabbed in the head. Out of all that stabbing, no one died. But I could tell you this, regardless of what anybody tell you, I was there. The Rough Riders whooped that ass. And I seen it with my own eyes. And I had so much respect for them. But as a player, I gotta keep it 100 on the Made Men and on the Rough Riders. This fight was over a female.
Yeah, wasn't a girl that DMX or
Yes.
someone that looked like DMX and messed with her or something?
Whatever the situation was, it was a female.
Isn't that pretty much every conflict?
God, we had this the last time we talked, and I'm just tired of it, sir.
The rumor was, and I'm not sure if this is 100% true, but the rumor was that the King Von situation was over a female.
Please tell me you're wrong.
Because
I'm gonna be
the
pissed.
story I'd heard was, because NBA YoungBoy has like 8 baby mothers.
Yes.
Right? And he's not with any of them. Or maybe he's with Floyd Mayweather's
Right.
daughter at this point, who's baby mother number 8.
Mhm.
But the story was that one of his baby mothers, there was like a picture of him, of the girl in the studio with King Von.
Okay.
And then Quando Rondo, who's essentially signed to NBA YoungBoy, was kind of taking up for him and starting to kind of get into it with King Von over that shit.
Over a
And
female, sir?
and that kind of, met to a head when they ran into each other in Atlanta, which neither one of them is from, at this lounge, this hookah lounge. And it's like, over a female that no one's really claiming. Honestly, this wasn't NBA YoungBoy, this is not his girlfriend. I mean, they have a child together, but he's moved on to 100 different women at this point. She's essentially a single mom.
Yes.
King Von has like 3 kids. He's not even saying that's his girl. I think they were actually
I didn't even know it was over a female. Sir.
That's what I heard. And I'm
But
sure
if
that
it is,
there's
I'm
probably other
embarrassed.
things that come out along the way, but most times, man,
I don't know when you young boys gonna learn. I say it in my act. I don't care if you married 2 years, a month, or 5 years. It's never your pussy. It's just your turn.
It's your turn, right? Because young boy got 8 baby mothers at 21 years old.
That's insane.
8 kids, 7 with one on the way with Mayweather's daughter.
Yes, that's insane. And I don't even know what to say to anything like that.
Yeah, he does.
I just hope that he lives a long life. I hope that he's able to take care of his children. I love his work. I started listening to his
he's
music.
dope.
His music is, I don't understand a lot what the rappers are saying. They're called mumble rapping or whatever. But the beat
I don't really think he mumbled.
and the mumbling, I don't know who it is.
All right,
The mumbling, the shit. I don't know if that's the language, but that mumbling that mumbling is, I don't even know what they saying, but I just be like, oh shit, damn. And I'm old school, but it get me going.
I mean, to be fair though, there's a lot of rock songs that I'm sure you and I both love, and you don't know what the fuck.
That's
they're
so
saying
true.
either. It's just
Right.
a vibe at the end of the day. It's music. It's emotional.
Right.
So I'm not.
I don't know what they saying, but that shit. Listen to me.
It bangs.
I'm on the plane. Listen to me. I'm on the plane because you got your own section now.
Right.
So I'm on the plane like, whoa. I don't know what the fuck. my head's doing this, Vlad. I'm like, damn. This is whoa. If anybody say, what did they say? I have no idea.
Well, the whole Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez situation is getting more weird. He's now charged with the shooting, and he's facing a bunch of years. I guess he just pleaded not guilty.
Yes.
I think today, actually. And now she's claiming that he offered to pay her off. You don't really know the whole story now. I mean, she claims that he shot her, and it ricocheted in her foot or something like that.
Now I know if you get shot, it don't look like that.
Yeah, it does look like she got shot in the foot.
No, that's not.
And that's the whole thing of it.
Yeah.
It seemed like maybe he was just shooting and it ricocheted.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
something.
She didn't get shot in the foot.
She didn't really get shot.
No.
But she did get hurt.
Yeah, she got hurt.
She got hurt.
Yes.
And now he's facing a bunch of time. To me, the weirdest thing was he goes on social media to try to explain to social media
And you can't
that
do
he's
that.
innocent, which is the stupidest thing to do
Yes.
when you have an act, because when you have a real criminal case.
Yes.
Because you don't need to explain shit to the social media.
Damn right.
Media. You only have to explain shit to the jury.
And they're gonna everything he says
will be used against him.
Thank you so much.
And you're going live.
Yes.
So even if your lawyer is right there, you say the wrong word, okay, never mind, scratch that.
And here's what's
Ain't
so
no
crazy.
scratching shit, it's all recorded.
From the R. Kellys to the O.J. Simpsons, right? Once you do an interview, you're going to jail. Once you do an interview, it's history. You're going to jail. Even the man, the white man who murdered somebody, and off air, the mic was still live. And he said, yeah, that's why I killed her. And got him for life.
Yeah. I don't really get the whole Tory thing.
But I do, let me make sure I put this in. I don't understand Tory's situation, but I bought his album.
Yeah.
After that.
It was dope.
Motherfucker album cold.
Well, you know.
Oh my God. I'm like, and the song is about her.
Right.
Every track is about that situation. But I could tell you this, he's talented.
Mm-hmm.
He is amazing. And I'm sorry that he ended up in this. I don't know what her angle is, why she really wants to press charges. Hopefully that.
Well, I don't think that it's her necessarily pressing charges.
Because the state will take over now.
I think that LAPD, the Los Angeles prosecutor.
Yes, the state will take over, even if you want to press charges.
She doesn't have to press charges.
No, she doesn't.
She's already stated what she said on social media, which could be used as evidence.
Yep.
And she'll be compelled to have to take the stand.
Yes.
And have to answer to what she said, or she would have to say that she's lying. And depending on whether she gave a deposition or not, she could potentially get caught up with a perjury charge.
Absolutely.
Which was how Lil Kim went to prison.
Yep.
Lil Kim wasn't involved herself in shooting anybody, but she was involved in a shooting situation and tried to say that she didn't know the shooters.
Right.
And they're like, well, that's bullshit. We got you on tape.
Got you on tape.
We got in photos. We got everything.
Yes, sir.
You're a liar. Go to prison.
Yep.
That's what happened.
And that's the thing. That's why, what do they say? Don't say shit unless you have attorney present.
Right. Or better yet, just don't say shit at all.
Or don't say shit at all.
Let your attorney speak for you.
Yep.
You have the right to remain silent.
Because both of those people are extremely talented.
They are.
Tory did. Listen to me. I didn't really know who he was until this. And I bought the album.
Yeah.
And the album is fire.
Yeah.
I hate that the whole album's about her because he's trying to apologize to her. But it's really some player shit, meaning if she was really into him and she heard the song and she heard them high notes that motherfucker was kicking, she was like, damn, you know what? I'm really feeling him. Let me drop the charges. But God bless him.
Well, I recently interviewed comedian Doug Williams. You know
Okay, yes.
And we talked about the infamous Emmett Smith roast.
Okay.
With Jamie Foxx.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Let me play you a clip.
Okay.
A little bit of background before I play you this clip.
Okay.
Emmett Smith was having a roast. It was put together by Shaq.
Okay.
Okay. Bunch of big comedians on this roast. Jamie Foxx, Guy Tory and Joe Tory.
Okay.
Monique.
Yes.
Jeff Ross.
Okay.
Few other people that just not coming to my mind. And Doug Williams, who was essentially brand new at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like he got this good manager at the time. He's like, hey, listen, I got an opportunity for you. Do you want to do it? He's like, I don't think so. He's like, hey, listen, if you're a comedian, you better take these opportunities.
Right.
So he agreed to do it. So he went and did it. And this is what happened.
I want to say this to Emmett Smith, man. I'm your conscience. It is a pleasure. Man, it sure did get hot in here. Am I fucking up right now? I'm your conscience. I really don't need to be up here right now. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Your brother start making money, you can't tell him shit. I'm your conscience. All right. I wish I was in a movie with Jamie. Maybe you're right about 48 hours. You are right about that. 72 hours. In fact, I don't know. In fact, nigga, I need a co-signer. Can you co-sign on the car for me? I just did another joke that didn't go over. I'm your conscience. Maybe I should say something nice about Emmett and wrap it up. Or maybe I should talk about how black people have to struggle. Yeah, that'll get them on my side. Thank you very much, Jamie Foxx. Thank you. I needed the help. I appreciate it.
I'm not Jamie Foxx. I'm your conscience.
Wow. Man.
You never seen that before?
I never saw that before.
It was one of these things that it came out on DVD
Yes.
before YouTube.
Okay.
So once YouTube hit, it kind of got a new life.
Yes.
Of its own, and then it started to circulate. And it's one of those things that sort of bothered him for a long time.
Wow.
And he just recently just started speaking about it.
Yes. I could see how that could bother you, especially when your jokes are not going over at a 5-star event.
Yeah. Have you ever done a roast?
Nah, I would. Just believe it or not, I know who I am, right? I wouldn't do a roast because I don't. My jokes are so serious, I would hurt someone's feelings, and I don't want to get roast because I'll go to the car and get the gun.
You gotta roast each other, right?
Yeah, I'll clear out the room. Like you ain't gonna like.
Get a gun.
It's not that I can't take a joke.
But you can't take a joke.
I can't take a joke. I'm gonna get the motherfucking gun. I'm shooting there. But if I say I'm going to get the gun, when I come back, everybody be out that motherfucker. But I would never do a roast, and I would never put myself in a situation to get roasted. Believe it or not.
Yeah. It was it was one of those things where this is the new guy.
Yes.
And Jamie just went at him.
Yeah.
To the point where he can't even talk.
Right.
And Jamie was the host of
Yeah.
this shit. He felt it was a setup. He felt it was a hit job. You know?
I don't know. I just think from what I'm seeing, if I'm good at this,
yeah,
he was really doing bad. And Jamie just felt it was time just to keep the laughter going. And I can understand Doug because he probably had his girlfriend there, you know, and or family members. I'm doing this for Emmitt Smith. And after that show, to walk around knowing that Jamie did that to you, it can, if you ain't strong, it can mess with you.
Yeah, he said he confronted Jamie afterwards, and Jamie was kind of like, "Hey, man, look, this is just part of the game. You know,
Yes.
Robin Williams did this to me when I did a roast.
Right.
You know, this is just how you get your stripes.
Yes.
Don't take it personally.
Right.
I don't hate you. You know, it was just one of those things."
So my first inclination, which I did, was to confront him and like, "Hey, you know, what was that about, man? What was?" And we did. We had a conversation backstage, and I remember him saying, "Hey, you know what? It was a roast. You have to get broken in." He said that whoever the guy that plays Al Bundy, I can't remember the actor's name, but he said, "Hey, he did it to me." So it was, you know, when we spoke about it, it was just like, "Hey, man, this is a part of the game. You know, charge to the game. You know, you got to be broken in. You were kind of like a virgin in the game, and you know, you just have to take one, not necessarily for the team, but your first one, you just have to take it on the chin and get better." And it was spoken in a manner to me that was, "Hey, man, don't take it personal. It's comedy."
I felt it was a little bit of an asshole move on Jamie's part because
Probably
he wasn't
so.
even letting him talk.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
comedy.
That's how you get them when you're going. you don't take your foot off their neck. You this is what you do.
Well, you know what's interesting? You know, because I did a little bit of research about this. Remember we talked about Emmitt Smith's wife leaving him?
Yes.
I never realized until afterwards was that Emmitt Smith's wife used to be Martin Lawrence's wife.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, everybody knew that.
She got around.
Yeah, she got around. And that's why I try to tell these women, once you date in the circle, try to find somebody out the circle.
Right.
Because it's like dating the whole football team, regardless of if that person hasn't seen that person in 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Once you know it, like it's a lot of people who are married, celebrities who are married, women that I dated. I would never tell them I dated their wife.
Well, right, because although Emmitt Smith is an athlete and Martin Lawrence is an actor, comedian, they are such at high levels that they're going to run into each other. They're going to mingle with each other.
High level.
High level.
Did you find out why did they get a divorce? Does anybody know that?
Which divorce are you talking about?
With her, with him.
With Emmett?
With Emmett.
Or with Martin Lawrence?
No, I don't care about Martin. I care about Emmett.
She just didn't love him anymore one day?
Yeah,
she just woke up and
that's
said,
how he
"Nah."
said it. He felt like she just woke up. He didn't see it coming.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I'd interviewed Kid from Kid and Play.
Yes.
And they did House Party together.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about Robin Harris.
Yes.
Right? You knew Robin?
I knew him very well.
Very well.
Very well.
Yo, Kid told me the funniest stories about Robin.
I believe it.
He said this one time, you know, everyone gets their checks, like on a Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Robin's like, what are you doing today? He's like, I don't know. Come to the bank with me. Robin takes Kid to the bank he used to work at.
Yeah.
He used to be a security guard at. And he was like, told y'all motherfuckers I was gonna make it. Fuck y'all. He goes to the counter, cash my check, bitch. Like,
wow.
Cash my fucking, look how much money that is. You'll never make that much money.
Robin Harris takes me to the bank that he used to work at as a security guard. That's where he want to go cash his check. He come in, hey, you motherfuckers, I told you I was gonna make it and I got Kid with me. I was like, where we going? He said, don't worry, motherfucker, we would have cashed these goddamn checks. And we went into some bank where he used to be a security guard. And they was coming in there and he was giving them the fucking business. Yeah, cash my check, bitch. What you talking about? I told you, right? Like, I'm rich, bitch.
And I'm happy for Robin. I've known Robin a long time.
And then you talk about the whole gun situation. He said Robin had a gun with him everywhere he went. He used to keep it under his seat. He said this one time, you know, while they were like waiting to shoot or whatever, they were in Burbank. They were playing basketball with some white dudes. Some shit happened. Things got heated. Robin said, "I'll be right back."
Yep, that's the old school
Went
shit.
and got his pistol.
Yeah.
And came out and said, "Is there a problem?"
Right. Yeah, that's the old school.
He's like, yeah, and he did the whole thing.
So one day we playing over there in Burbank, near where Martin lived, this gym. And it was something, we got into it with these cats, man, for some reason. You know, we start beefing and whatever. And some cats, you know, a couple white dudes, whatever like that, they talking shit. And Robin was like, what? He said, yo, wait up real quick. Robin go out to the car, come back with the strap. He got the strap on him. He got it. He got gym clothes on, everything. He got the jammy. He got the jammy right here at the hip. And he's like, what you said, motherfucker? What you said? And they're like, ruh, 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 ruh. And you know, he's like typical Robbie. I thought that's what you said, motherfucker.
So this is the Robin Harris that you knew?
No, I didn't know that Robin Harris.
No.
The Robin Harris I knew was just a brilliant stand-up comedian, and I'm glad I got to watch him for 5 years. For 5 years, and that's like when you saw me perform and you said, TK, your stage presence was unbelievable, and the way you can control the crowd. And I think some of that, a little bit comes from him, but then once you learn from your mentors, you take off and do your own thing. He was definitely a part of that.
Yeah, such a talent that died so young.
Yeah,
what
very
did he
young.
die from?
It was that sleep apnea, whatever that is, yeah. And I think in Chicago at a hotel after a show, he passed away.
Oof.
Yeah, I think it was in 1991 too.
He was young.
He was young.
40s, I think?
I think it was in his 40s. Yeah, God
Sad.
bless him.
I want to just say this before we wrap up.
Yes, sir.
The amount of scamming that I'm seeing right now with the EDD and the SBA loans.
EBT cards, PPP.
The PPP.
Yep, SBA.
Is like nothing I've ever seen.
Yes.
We have been reporting on the most ridiculous stories. There was these two rappers that made a song called EDD.
Yes.
You know, who literally are showing their fake EDD checks in the video. You know, it's like, I think the lyrics were something like, you got to sell a key, all I got to do is cash my EDD.
Right.
$1.2 million in EDD scams, convicted thanks to that video.
Yes.
There was another video of a guy who has an Instagram post of a G-Wagon with a big red bow on it for his lady. He's like, yeah, baby, I told you, I got you the big house. Now I got you this G-Wagon. Wait till I get you next week. 2.5 million in scams. She's arrested. He's currently still on the run. Last I checked. And we talked about this. Me and Boosie were talking about how he's like, everywhere I go, every city, motherfuckers have stacks of fresh $100 bills.
Yes.
Not you know, when people are trapping, they got the dirty, worn out, crackhead dollar bills. No, he said fresh fresh money, the amount of scamming that's going on right now in these poor neighborhoods.
Yes.
Is so sad to me because the government will go and find all this shit out.
Oh, they're gonna find you.
You know, it's not
You
like, it's not
better
like doing a drug deal.
Yes.
Where you don't know where those kilos came from. The government knows exactly where this shit's coming from.
They coming.
And everyone's gonna go to prison over this.
Yep.
You seeing the same thing?
I see the same thing. And I was just talking to a friend about that yesterday. And same thing what you're talking about, especially in state of Michigan, Detroit, Michigan. They can't keep nothing on the shelves. Louis.
Yeah.
Everything is gone. And
it's crazy to me.
And what I want people to understand who are listening to the people who did any type of fraud, listen, I'm not against anybody doing a little something to get over. But the point is you're not respecting money. And me and my sons talk about it all the time, that you got to respect the dollar. Now, I can understand you get the money and then you're smart enough to nickel and dime off it for 10, 15, 20 years. But you don't go out and buy a brand new Lambo.
Right. Which is what's happening.
Yep. Brand new cash.
Yeah.
And don't think that the dealer is not going to call the feds and they associate your name along with the deal and they're not going to come get you because they know where the money came from.
Right. I talked to a jeweler I know, and he said that guys that he's dealt with, they usually spend $1,000, $1,500, are now coming with $15,000, $20,000. They want it right now, and it's to the point where he doesn't want to take the money.
Wow.
He's literally turning people down because he's like, I don't think this is coming from, from legitimate means, and I'm not trying to get wrapped up.
Right.
That's how Jacob the jeweler went to prison.
Yep, sure was.
Over taking all that BMF cash for jewelry, not reporting it.
Yep.
And then someone gets Big T.
Yep.
Southwest T. Sorry,
Yes.
Southwest T, Big Meech's brother,
Yes.
gets busted with like $700,000 worth of jewelry and then wants to go get it back from the feds.
Right.
And they're connecting the dots and it goes back to Jacob the jeweler. And they're like, oh, you sold him millions of dollars worth of jewelry, didn't report it. You're going to prison right along with these
Isn't that
guys.
something?
That's what happens. And let me tell you that once the pandemic starts to come to a close,
Yes.
and it's time to, the trillions of dollars that have been sent out, I got audited after the last stock market crash.
Yes.
And my accountant said, I'm seeing 5 times the amount of audits this year.
Yeah, they're not playing.
Because that money they're dishing out, that they bailed out the banks with,
Yes.
they got to make that back.
They got to make that back.
All this money they're dishing out, and like...
Isn't it an extra charge too during the pandemic because it's it's a felony type thing, correct?
Well, it's after a certain dollar amount.
Yeah, it's a certain dollar amount.
Because here's the thing, like from what I understand, I read that like half of the SBA, the small business loans,
Yes.
they've given out, the companies have gone bankrupt.
Yes.
That they've given them to.
Yes.
Now, a lot of times it's not their fault.
Right.
If you got a restaurant and no one's you can't fill the place up anymore.
And you can file bankruptcy.
You have a gym, you have certain things that just do not work in a pandemic.
Yes.
That loan helps, but it's not going to keep you going.
Not
So a
gonna
lot
keep
of
you
these
going.
companies are filing bankruptcy legitimately.
Yes.
But that's all money lost.
Yep.
They got to make that back. So best believe everyone who's stealing right now, who's doing, who's pretending to have a business with 100 employees, who's getting these EDD checks sent to abandoned homes.
Yes.
They're going to figure out where this came from. It's very easy to trace.
Yes.
And not only are you going to go to prison, but you're going to have massive penalties that's
Yes.
going to ruin your financial future forever.
Yes. Over what? Over material things.
And you're right. They're not really saving the money. They're not saying, okay, I'm going to go move to a different country.
Because here's the thing, if you save the money and you did something illegal, I guarantee you may not get caught as fast.
Yeah.
See? Like, I'm not trying to teach you how to steal. I'm just saying,
I'm just trying to teach you how to steal.
If you took the money and kept it, and I always tell people have a farmer's mentality. Know that you're rich, but you don't have to prove that you're rich.
Yeah. Two
different things. Because a fisherman can always see another fisherman from afar. Cold line. No, yes, sir.
I got to think about that one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And you will always take some level of loss of showing off your money.
It's not worth it. Not in the world that we live in today.
It may not be instantaneous.
Yes.
But you're going to piss people off. You're going to make people jealous.
Yes. Success has enemies.
Success has enemies.
And there's no way around.
I have learned this very clearly in
success
2020.
has enemies. Yes. It has enemies.
People who you thought were your friends are actually your enemies.
They are
waiting to spring into action.
Yep. And one of my favorite lines, and I'll say it here on your show, stay low key and flex occasionally.
That's how we're going to end it. TK Kirkland.
VladTV.
Always a pleasure, man.
Always a pleasure, young man.
Until next time.
Until next time, thank you for everything. My children, me. I want the world to understand you my man for life. And may your pain be champagne.
There we go. Until next time.
Yes, sir.
Peace.